we were trying different approaches, working with speech therapists, working with defectologists. We tried, I would say, everything that we could try until now. The first important point was that it's not invasive. We need something which is more reliable and needs to start not immediately, but at least to know in which period of time this can happen. I read in the articles that all the stem cells that are being used are previously examined for viruses, for some diseases. Check is being done on them. I consider that it will be a combination, maybe stem cells continuing to work with the speech therapist, then maybe improvement into the food or some diets. We already agreed with the doctor that there will be a regular check after 3 months, so we follow the condition.
Can you please tell me what's your name, where you're from, and what brought you to the clinic?
Okay, my name is Alexander. I'm from Macedonia. I'm here because of my son. He was diagnosed with autism 3 years ago, and in the past period we were trying different approaches, working with speech therapists, working with defectologists, working with different types, I would say, not diets, but maybe specific food for him. So we did some analysis regarding food allergies, if on his blood, if he has some issues with some of the products that he is consuming, but and we tried some of them, like for example, not eating milk products for some period of time. We also constantly bring him privately and on state classes for defectologists and speech therapists. So this is ongoing, and he privately also works with private defectologists at home. So we tried, I would say, everything that we could try until now. We did also some analysis of the hair for existence of maybe some heavy metals or something into the blood or in the hair that goes there. We did this type of analysis. We did some detoxification as well with zeolite. So we tried this. We also use some syrups, which are mainly, I would say, supplements, like to improve his memory. These are being given not only to autistic, but basically to all types of children to develop the brain and everything. So I would say we tried until now non-invasive methods, which means either through supplements or through some diet, and constantly working with speech therapist all the time. So this is what we tried until now. How we find you? I saw on the internet there was advertisement, so for Swiss Medica in as company, and then I saw that there is some clinics here in Switzerland and in Slovenia. We saw that the closest one is in Belgrade here, which is closest to us. For me, the first important point was that it's not invasive, so it's not with going to the bones. We didn't have any cells coming from him from the birth kept, so we didn't have any stem cells from him. So if this was the method, then it would be harder. I know that it's possible to take it from the bones or from the teeth, or maybe from some compatible donor from the family, but I think that this maybe first it would be more painful for him, for sure, more stressful, and this is something that we didn't want to start with this type of procedure. So there was also some advertisement. I think that one of the hospitals in Turkey also works with the same type, maybe not the same type, but not going through the bones. And we were in communication also with them, but the response was I would say, very, very slow or very, how to say it? We spent maybe 3 weeks only to get consultation with one of their representatives, which was, I don't know, from India, and then time zone issue, then language issue, then it was too much time just to get first feedback, I would say. I even tried to call this in Turkey, this hospital several times without any answer on their mobile, which is so. Then I said, okay, we need something which is more reliable and needs to start not immediately, but in the at least to know in which period of time this can happen. The distance is another issue, so Turkey is far away than here. Here we came with the car, for example. To Turkey we will have to go with the plane, or maybe 2 days with the car. Yeah, this is how we find the clinic and what are the opportunities here. We know how Facebook works, so when you click on something, then from the same subject you get a lot of suggestions what to check and where. So I was tracking this. There was additional clinics, as I mentioned, in Turkey. Then a lot of articles about stem cells that are being explaining. Then a lot of people doing comments on all the articles, so you read some of them. But also with consultation with other parents which have the same issues, we understood that some of them mentioned that there is a different type of clinic in Novi Sad here in Serbia. I'm not sure which type of cells, I don't know. But some of the parents that we contacted, they said that they were in some treatments in Slovakia, here in Europe. Slovakia.
Not Slovenia.
No, Slovakia. Slovakia. And the other ones that were doing stem cells, one of them in Mexico and one of them in US. So, but again, not too much details. I don't know if they are the same type of cells.
And how did you get these parents? How did you find them? The parents who also they have done stem cells.
Usually there are some groups on the Facebook which you could join. So,
like communities, right?
Like communities. So we have one in Macedonia, which is called I don't know, parents with children with special needs. Let's say this is the name, and exactly the same name there is in Serbia as well. So basically, how we find you is when we join the group of these parents with special needs from Serbia.
Okay.
Then we saw some of the articles basically mentioning that there is also possibility that this to be done in Serbia as well, and then you get a lot of comments. So some of them believe, some of them don't believe, some of them recommend, some of them don't recommend, and some of them propose something in Turkey.
Yes.
Basically in our country, also there are some, like I would call them charity donations, for people that cannot afford because of the high cost, that somebody gives the number of their bank account, and then the people can give some donations, and then the people are going to these treatments. So most of the treatments that I have seen from Macedonia were going to Turkey, to this clinic in Turkey. I think the name is Live Hospital in Turkey. They have several clinics in Turkey. One for the stem cells is in Istanbul, and most of these donations that were given to other children from Macedonia were for this Live Hospital going to Turkey. So, but when joining in these groups, then you get a lot of, a lot of the parents share their experiences. So using from the speech therapist up to the supplements, up to the stem cells, up to some, people try everything. So using, holy water, going to some monasteries or churches, but it's helping a lot, especially for the practices that are, some of them make their own schematic of visualizations, so they share to the group, so you can use them, print them, then share their experience with the doctors. They went to some, maybe dentist. It's not easy to go to dentist with this type of issue, and then they share their experiences. So you get a lot of useful informations. You get a lot of people from the other side that are believing or not believing in some points, but these are like comments.
Yeah.
So basically.
And what have you heard? Oh, I'm sorry for interrupting. Carry on.
No. I said so. You need to filter out what you think it's okay or what you think it's not okay, because you will get maybe 200 opinions. One of them are okay, one of them are not okay. Some of them doesn't even believe. Some of them doesn't even believe that this disease is existing. So you get a lot of comments, but you need to filter out. But this comes with the reading experience from this group. So you don't need to take everything. You don't to take nothing, but at least it gives you some direction.
And what have you seen about stem cells?
For stem cells, so what I know from before and was that they really, for me, why first we didn't consider this before. My knowledge about stem cells before was that this really needs to be from his own cells, which you usually take it during birth, then you keep it, right? And then these were for me the only stem cells that can be used for a patient until maybe 1 year ago. And then I started to read on the internet that there is a possibility that you get cells from a donor. I didn't know about placenta, to be honest. I was thinking more that these are really cells from grown persons that are checked for compatibility and then give it as that type of cells. I didn't know that you can use from placenta or the other type. So, and knowing the previous operation, which was inserting into the bones, I consider that it will be too much stress and maybe too much pain for small children that are already sensitive to this type of injections, keeping him still and everything, which it's already a challenge, I would say.
What have you heard or seen about stem cells so that you decided, okay, I want to try?
Yes. Knowing the non-invasive method, which is not through the bones, I said, okay, let's try. I read also on the internet that as the time goes by, let's say, how grown up the child will be, then not that it's reducing, let's say, the
time.
Yeah, but still it would be better to start earlier than sooner. Not that it will be less effect, maybe yes, less effect, as it would be maybe 3 years before, but still, as the time is passing, maybe it would help if you do it on time, not to wait, 10, 15, 20 years, just to see if it's really improving the situation.
I assume that you also read about stem cells in the community, probably something that could possibly hold you back of your idea of trying stem cells. Did you read something like it would cause harm?
Depends. The first thing that I read from the comments is what is the person who is commenting. So if he really comments about stem cells, is he really a medical person, or he's like me, some engineer who doesn't understand really the biology behind the stem cells. So I would take as a valid comment from somebody who knows the background behind the stem cells. I would not take opinion from I'm electrical engineer. I will not take opinion from mechanical engineer, for example, for stem cells. I will not take from traffic engineer for stem cells. But if some medical person who has knowledge of that area says something that there is a risk, there is side effects, something that could happen because of maybe, not good stem cells, not purified stem cells, or maybe the intervention not being held as per some regulation, 3 milliliters per kilo or whatever, then I would take it as a valid, but only from persons that have experience in that area. But you will read a lot of comments, so there are a lot of comments like, okay, they will just take the money, put some what do you call water, whatever, into the blood, and then that's it. But again, the valid comments should come from the ones that understand that area.
So, do I understand you correctly that you didn't concern about trying stem cells?
Not, I would say, not concerned. Easier is that that it's not going through the bones. So then I read in the articles that all the stem cells that are being used are previously examined for viruses, for some diseases. Check is being done on them. It was explained by the consultant and by the doctors that these are really stem cells that are in early phase, so they are compatible with everybody. My first question to the doctor and to the consultant when we had the first interview was, is it dependent from the blood type? Maybe is it dependent, I don't know, from the age or the race, or something, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
And the answer was no, because they're the basic stem cells that they are compatible for everybody, and they will be verified and checked before they are inserted into the body. So at least in my role, when you have I work in the automotive industry,
mm-hmm.
and every time when we have a problem, we try to find the root cause of the problem. So
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to go with assumptions. I really need to know, and I need to explain to my customer what was the real root cause, why this happened. So it's not assumption. I really need to prove that the issue was caused by that and that reason. And this is some kind of logic that I want to use when I read these articles once again, or the comments. Then I try to understand what is the meaning behind this comment which was given there. So if it was given again from non-competitive person, I just remove it from my understanding and list, and then I focus on the ones that maybe already tried this and they had success or no success,
Mm-hmm.
which again it's not giving you 100% proof that it will work or not work. So it depends how the body will take
yes.
depends in which stadium it is already, depends I don't know, maybe from the additional points, because to be honest, I don't expect that now magically everything will be fixed. Starting from tomorrow my child will be perfect, everything will be like normal child, so he will start to speak starting from tomorrow without any additional issues. So no, I consider that it will be a combination, maybe stem cells continuing to work with the speech therapies, then maybe improvement into the food or some diets if need, then maybe still some supplements that needs to be used. So I don't expect, because this is what you read also from the comments, that after the stem cells everything will be perfect, everything is fixed. So
And what did doctors told you about expectations?
What first they asked us what is our expectation after the stem cells. I said that it would be good if we see improvement in the behavior, which means better sleep or more continuous sleep, then reduction of the nervous, let's say, of the child, more focus of the child. And if it's starting by this, then you have the base for improvement of the speech. Without that, I'm quite sure that if we don't manage to success in these three parts that I mentioned already, that the speech improvement cannot start for me. Again, I'm not expecting that starting with tomorrow we have 500 words, just because of that. No. So you need to get in different phases, and of course it depends also how the body will take the therapy, as for any other therapy, right? So you have persons that maybe after therapy can stand on legs and go. You have other persons that need 2 weeks to get the organism to get the therapy. So for me this is the same. So the body needs to adapt to the new cells. you need to create the surrounding environment to support that, but that it will be fixed from tomorrow, I'm quite sure it will not happen like that.
Mm-hmm. And about, did doctors tell you something about what to expect, or they didn't? You didn't ask?
I asked. They basically said, so first you will see improvement into the focus.
You could see, or you will see definitely?
You could see.
You could see.
You could see. So they are not guaranteeing, let's say, guarantee. But the doctors mentioned to me some statistic that 8 out of 10 cases that are treated here have positive results in
80%,
different,
yes.
80%. So in different stages, but never, promise first that it will be 100% cured. No. In this 80%, you have some improvement, which means they don't guarantee that there will be a speech or there will be something extra, but you will see improvement. And the main improvements would be improvement of the focus, trying different foods that were not tried before until now, improvement of the sleep as well, this was mentioned, and improvement of the speech could happen, but it's not guaranteed. This is what was mentioned.
And how long have you been treating in the clinic?
The treatment was 9 days. This was treatment from 9 days. So we came here last Tuesday evening. So today we are Wednesday. Tomorrow we are leaving. So I would say this is the 7th or the 8th day.
And how was your experience in the clinic? Accommodation, food, treatment itself, because I suppose that it's quite difficult for the child, especially with autism, to deal with doctors, needles, catheters and stuff like that. How was your experience?
The experience was very good. To be honest, we were a little bit afraid coming here because first because of this I would say closed area. Let's call it closed area. Usually he wants to run, play with things a lot. He wants to walk a lot. So I was a little bit skeptic because sitting 9 days in a closed space could be an issue. It helped the bigger room that is on the top, where also they could run or they could play with some things. I would recommend to have more maybe sensory devices upstairs. There were some blocks, Lego or something, but if there could be more sensory devices that can be used, I think it will help, because I saw the other children are bringing their own as well, and then you can occupy them for some period of time. So this would be a recommendation for upstairs.
Thank you very much.
Yes. Then there is a TV with the cartoons that you can play, but this is short time keeping them on one place, and then when you have several children, then one wants to see one wants to see the other, and you have more issue than benefit, I would say, with the cartoons. But if you have more sensory equipment, then it will help a lot. The cleanliness is, I don't have any issues with the cleanliness. It was quite clean. Every day there is a cleaning. The staff is friendly, so if they see that, I don't know, they cannot clean now, they would come later. There was no issue about this. The food also is very good. They were flexible. We explained to them from the first time that he eats only certain type of food, so if we just choose by the menu, maybe he would not eat nothing. But they were very flexible and preparing what he eats. So we said to them the first day, okay, he eats this and that. We will tell you which day what to eat, what to prepare for him, and they were very flexible and preparing the meals on time. So no issues about this at all. Also the other stuff, the doctors and the nurses, we know that it's a big challenge to hold him during taking blood or putting the anesthesia or putting the stem cells. So they were understanding what is the situation, so holding him together with us, trying not to make him nervous, checking him after the intervention several times a day, checking the temperature, checking how he's behaving. So no, I would say no issues with this at all.
So you had minor sedation, right?
Yes.
Okay. So basically, as far as I understand, no issues with therapy in terms of pain and okay.
No.
Okay, got it.
No.
Did you have a chance to talk to probably different parents who are in the clinics with the same condition?
My wife,
Okay.
not me, because I was also working in the same period. So I'm here during I'm with him during the therapy, but then I continue to work.
Okay.
But my wife had more conversation with the other patients. What we have seen is that from the region, I think the closest one was from UK, at least, or maybe from Spain, but this was only starting from this week, and the rest one were mainly UK, Australia. There was some persons, but I think that not all of them were with children, so some of them came for another stem cell treatment for themselves. But we saw that there was also very small children, maybe 2 years or 3 years, which were less in years than our son. So, and there were some with more years. But I would say when we asked them why they came to Serbia, for example,
So
the
far
ones
away.
from UK, one statement was that at least in UK the government does not provide any, at least on a state level, they don't provide this kind of therapy. So then if you want to do it, then you need to do outside of UK. I don't know what are the reasons. Maybe even some of them tried. One of the patients from Turkey mentioned to us that there is a stem cell in Turkey, but he didn't have any positive feedback from the ones that he discussed about treating that in Turkey. But yeah.
And for you, why have you chosen Swiss Medica?
I would say first I was I go on the advertisement on the page of the clinic. I put my number
On Facebook? You have seen on Facebook?
I have seen on Facebook, but then I go on the link on the clinic, and
Okay.
then I fulfill the form, the
Web form?
questionnaire, the web form, and then immediately, I think it was the same day, I got a message from the consultant.
Okay.
I think this was Helga.
What's the name again?
Helga,
okay.
yeah, and she replied to me that, okay, are you interested? Do you want to do an interview? Can you fill up this questionnaire so we can provide you with first interview, and then we can provide you estimate, I would say. She requested some medical documentation about previous treatments, what we have done, age, weight, I would say basic informations. And in the period of maybe 2 days, already we had a consultation with one doctor. The name was Karen.
Okay.
Yeah. And she explained to me what is the procedure of stem cells. They present the draft plan, I would say. At that point, still a draft plan. And they also sent me some links with articles, not from the clinic, but I would say medical articles that can be read as well. What are the stem cells? What is the procedure? So I read through that. I see what is the proposal for the treatment, and then it was the second step. They sent me the initial price offer and the treatment plan, and asked if we are still interested to continue. I said yes, please give me a date when this could happen. Initially it was said that usually the clinic is booked for a period of 1 month approximately, so it could be possible for a month, somewhere end of December. And then we said, okay, I said to Helga, please check with your responsible supervisor if there is a possibility to do it earlier. But because as December comes, it's middle of the winter, you know, everything is more complicated. And then it was mentioned that there is a free space on Tuesday last week, if you could come.
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay. What are the things that you didn't like? You can be honest. Or what things that we can improve?
Regarding the treatment, again, I cannot judge the treatment because I'm not a medical person. I can read what is stated there, how much it goes to kilo, but I guess there is science behind it, so I don't question that. I would say for the treatment, I don't have any suggestions because I'm not qualified to give any suggestions for the treatment, I would say. Just for the staying, what I already mentioned, but it's a minor thing. We know that when the kids are coming, they need more space, more sensory equipment to keep them occupied, let's say. Even a small room like this could have several different, you know, toys, something, but really that could help them keep them occupied. Other than that, I said the food is okay, the cleanliness is okay. I don't see any issues. The nurses were coming after the intervention to check the temperature, to check the condition and everything, so I don't have any issues with this. The biggest challenge, again, it's also, I would say, keeping the kids, you know, in close space. This is the biggest challenge with this type of children, and we know that not every time your patients are with children, so some of them are coming with their own issues, I would say, without children, and maybe the children are making, you know, a lot of noise for them. If you ask some of the other patients, maybe they will tell you there was a child in that room that made a lot of noise. But for us, it's okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Would you like to say something additional? Feel free to say anything you want.
Nothing additional. We already agreed with the doctor that there will be a regular check after 3 months, so we follow the condition. Let's say
It's going to be organized online, or you're going to come to the clinic?
we would come to the clinic because there should be a check on the blood once
Okay.
again. We can make the blood analysis and send the results, but for me it would be good also the persons that were working with him, for example the doctor, the defectologist, to see, because they will give us a report. They already gave us a report about what they saw now, so it would be good to see after 3 months if they would see from their side any improvement or any not
Changes.
improvement or changes. So just giving the blood analysis, for me it's only one one from the equation, which will maybe give a wrong impression. So it would be good the persons who tracked him during these 9 days, just to see him once again and say, okay, we also see some changes, we see improvement or not. So for us it's not far away. Again, it's,
How long does it take from your place?
it's 7 hours driving with the car.
Okay,
It's not too much, I would
It's
say. There is a highway, no
Good.
issue
good.
for that. So I would prefer if we come and do the check after 3 months again in the clinic, even if it's only let's say blood analysis plus check from the defectologist and the doctor. It would give a better result.